Hello everybody and welcome to the video. My name is Sejwoonapiggle and as you know from, well, you're not blind, you can see, I'm playing Lethality Varus. I've taken Arcane Comet and I've started Corrupting Potion. Now this is going to be an explanation on how to play this build. Something which has, I think, been massively overpowered, but yet some people still refuse to believe that it is a strong build. I've seen on the Varus mains subreddit quite a lot that on-hit Varus is better in every situation, and I think that both playstyles are situational and based on the game. I actually was going to play on-hit Varus in this match, and then I realised they're all squishy, and they will one-shot me if I go into auto-attack range, so Lethality it is. Despite being nerfed in patch 10.12, I still think that it is a very strong build. So, for runes, I am taking, it's meant to be double adaptive, not 10% attack speed, but you can go 10% attack speed, it's up to you. 5 attack damage, 6 armor. I've gone Sorcery second, Boots and Cosmic Insight for 5% CDR. I'm going to rush Umbral Glaive, and we're just going to farm up and kind of chill against this enemy bot lane, and we're going to get stunned, apparently. So the goal is to, in the early game, just poke and stack your mana flow band, right? You want to make sure that you're not running out of mana in lane, because you've got Corrupting Potion for the mana sustain and the health sustain, and then you've got the mana flow band in order to poke. Now oh dear. Now I have enough sustain here that I'll be fine, and I'm really not that worried. Bard ignited me, which is actually a good thing, because now he has no kill potential on me, because I'm just going to sustain back up. Just going to use a short Q there. Only did 45 damage to Caitlyn, but it's okay. So this build shines at around level 5 to level 6, and then it gets its major power spike at level 9 with Umbral completed. That is when you'll see a massive power spike in this build, compared to on hit, which needs a few more items to scale. Obviously, on hit gives a massive power spike when you buy Gwynsu's, and when you have lethal tempo up. But the problem is, sometimes games don't go, games just don't last long, and you can't really have the power of an on-hit build for Varus. Sometimes, you know, get to its peak in a game, but usually for Lethality you can. And so that's why I advocate for this build so heavily. I think that it is not useless if you play it correctly, although other people would disagree. People think this is a terrible build. But if you've played against it, and you've played against a fed Varus, which you should have, then you really know the power of this build. I'm gonna fly. Yikes. That was bad by me as well, but it's a shame. Okay, he gets a kill onto Bard. It's okay. So honestly, I misplayed that. But what you've got to understand is I have a Xerath support, and that means we are the ultimate poke lane. Later on in the game, they are not going to be able to siege against us. They have to hard engage with Pantheon and Rengar onto us, and Rengar's quite squishy. So if I ult him before he jumps, he's dead. We have such good poke against their team, and we scale decently as well. I think that they probably are also an early game centric team. However, I think Xerath is stronger than Bard late game, way more damage, less utility, but it doesn't really matter. Jarvan's coming in here. I didn't really want to follow up on that because it's a bit risky. Okay, he might be dead here. Maybe I can snipe Caitlyn, who knows? Yep, Caitlyn massively mispositioning there, and I managed to get the kill. It's okay though, Jarvan did misplay, but it's 1 for 1. I think it's best to back here and actually get Serrated Dirk. So the main power spike that you have before level 6, if you're not fed, is the Serrated Dirk. And Umbral Glaive, I want to talk about this item. Umbral Glaive is one of the most overpowered items in the game, and I say this because League of Legends has slowly been moving away from this ridiculous amount of vision control. You used to have stealth wards that you could purchase, which were green wards. You didn't used to just get wards from trinkets. You used to have Tracker's Knife, and you used to have pink wards, which used to be a bit better than the current iteration, which is control wards. And the thing that Umbral does is it doesn't just work when it's off cooldown. It's not 45-second cooldown. It's any ward you attack. It only reveals wards every 45 seconds for 8 seconds, right? But if you have a sweeper, it still gives you the increased damage. If you see a ward before it disappears, it still gives you the increased damage. This is why it's a broken item. It gives you so much vision control, and that's why Pike is viable and why Senot is viable. Obviously, there's more to it than just Umbral, but it is a massive reason as to why this item is really strong. And I believe very, very strongly that this is a big reason as to why Varus is so successful, because the item is overtuned. But the most important thing is this build, you get your damage way quicker than most ADCs. You know, Caitlyn's a crit ADC. Her Zeal items are going to be 2,600 when my Umbral's 2,400. Plus she needs to go Infinity Edge. I will have more AD than her. I will be able to one-shot her earlier. I will be able to reach that power spike, that fantasy of how, you know, Varus really comes online and much earlier than Kate. Even though Caitlyn is the lane bully in this matchup, even though she is the early game champion, Caitlyn is nowhere near as strong as Varus. You know, if I hit level 6, or, yeah, I am behind, but if I hit level 6 soon, we can absolutely destroy her. Now, unfortunately not a lot of damage there, because I had no Q, but we're farming very badly, and amazingly, this is a diamond-rated game. Probably the fact that I'm talking so much is distracting me, and also the fact that I guess my early game wasn't great. You know, I blamed Zera for something that honestly was my fault, looking back on it. And you need to have that attitude. Don't blame your teammates, you can't control them. If they make mistakes constantly, you telling them to focus is not going to help them focus. You telling them to do something constructive, maybe, but like, generally... I got him. So, you know, generally it's best that if you're going to communicate with your teammates, be constructive but positive. Don't be so firm that you're at a point where it just comes off as if you're blaming. I did not manage to hit the Caitlyn, unfortunately. Oh. She's dead here, I think. If I didn't hit her? That's crazy. That's actually crazy. Wow. That's pathetic. I didn't hit her with a Q. What the hell? Come on, Zera. What are you doing, buddy? Well done, Katarina. Well played. So, you know, just to reaffirm your teammates, like, say something positive. You don't need to flame. Don't say things that are sarcastic. You know, if your teammate makes a good play, acknowledge them if it's safe to do so. You know, don't get killed because you're typing. But just, you know, mental attitudes, like a positive mental attitude towards this game is so important nowadays. And I find that a lot of players, when they go into ranked, they get into this mindset where they've got to flame, they've got to let their teammate know how bad they are. And it doesn't help. It doesn't help. And it really, does it make you feel better to say, oh, you're boosted and whatnot? I don't understand this whole Smurf community where you can be a diamond or a master tier player, you can go into Solar and you can call your teammates bad, like as if, you know, like TF Blade does, if that's okay. The fact that some people think that's okay, like, of course your teammates are bad, they are genuinely silver, and you are 4, 5, 6 tiers above them. Of course they're bad, but the whole point is, so are the enemy team. If you're losing that game, that's on you, not them. And that's the best way to improve with League, is study, learn, expand your game knowledge, practice your mechanics, go into practice tool, learn how to farm a bit better, do practice drills. Don't blame your teammates, because you can always do something better, you can always improve, there is always a way for you to get better at the game, and you need to focus on yourself. Yes, it's tilting when you've got a 0-2 top laner, but you've got to understand Minar is 0-2 because he's laning against Pantheon, who falls off not super heavily, but heavily enough compared to most top laners, you know. And if he was 5-0, I'd be thinking, well, okay, Nars kind of ruining the game, but no, he's not that far behind in CS, considering that our entire team have been garbage at farming. I've got 66 farm. I should have close to 100, but you know, the whole point is I'm going to stay focused. This game is winnable. I'm not going to go AFK. You know, I think this is a good mindset to have. You know, have positivity. Now, this is where Varus starts to kind of come into play. You know, and hopefully we can get a kill. Yep, we get a kill, and I'm completely safe. Now, Rengar is bot side, and I'm low. And it's a little risky for me to stay, but I'm going to because I'm greedy. And this is one of my biggest problems, is I greed in lane, and I recognise that. Do I improve on it? Not generally. This I get away with because I just saw Rengar's top side, so I can generally... I can probably take 2 plated here. Maybe 1 is safer. But I have recognised a scenario where I can snowball my advantage. I can continue pushing my advantage, and I could maybe even... No. I can't. I was going to say I could maybe even snipe Bard, and I could potentially be lucky enough to deal enough damage to him. Unfortunately, he has armor, and he also realised I was charging that, so I was too far back. Now, this is okay. It's 8 versus 8. People are going to sometimes look at your... Like, don't look at your top laner, see 0-3, and then be like, oh, FF, because one of your teammates is 0-3. Because what you've got to recognise is their ADC is 0-2, and the mid laner on the enemy team is 1-3. Make sure that when you're playing ranked, you're accounting for the farm difference. I'd say about, I think 15 minions is roughly a kill. So a 150 CS Akali, who is 0-0-0, probably has the same gold as a Caitlyn, who is 5-0, but only 60 CS, right? Now, my math might be wrong. Come on, cut me a break. My math is definitely off, right? It's completely wrong. I know that, but I am playing a game right now whilst trying to talk about strategies and whatnot. Don't expect me to be perfectly correct, but I know I'm in the right sort of estimate for it, you know? So I managed to hit him with the Q there. And Bard has wimmed this. And we managed to get 2 kills here. Unfortunately, I may be dead. But I did misclick on the Caitlyn. I misclicked on the Caitlyn, but still got the kill. I was trying to move towards the brush, but I mean, I clicked on her and she died because it auto-turned. So that's actually not too bad for us, as long as Xerath doesn't die. He doesn't die. That is 2 for 1, potentially 4 for 1. We have turned a favourable situation around, and I believe that if it wasn't for the fact that I was playing such a strong early game variation of Varus, you know, Lethality Varus does a lot of damage. And you have lockdown as well. You have a root that lasts for 2 seconds, right? Yes, Bard has Mercury Treads, so I think I hit Caitlyn with the ulti there. I actually am not too sure. I think I did. We managed to turn a massively favourable situation, and I wholeheartedly believe that if it was any other ADC, it might not have gone as well. Because I wouldn't be in that position where I was 3-2, or now 5-2, you know? So this is why I stand by this build. Now, I have almost got humans, and this is what I want to talk about. I want to talk about boot itemization. I see some people that like to go swiftness boots, and that is absolutely valid. You can go swiftness boots, because your Q self-slows you, and swiftness boots has a passive that reduces any slows, including the self-slow that your Q gives you when you're channeling. But you can also, and I know that some people are going to be upset if I say this, you can also go Ionian boots. It gives you 10% CDR. Yes, you take Transcendence, but it converts it into AD if you overcap. It also makes your summoner spells a lower cooldown, which synergizes further with the fact that you've got Cosmic Insight. You know, some people are going to really mess up their timings, you know, so it can be good. And, you know, you don't always need the bonus movement speed from... I didn't need to flash that. I didn't look at the health, the tower health, but I didn't need to flash that. But yes, sometimes you don't need the bonus movement speed. Bonus movement speed is one of the most powerful stats in this game, And so that's why swiftness boots can be so good. I really hate that Rengar one-shot me there, but no. Really unfortunate. If he hit the ulti, he would have got that. But yeah, let's focus. So we've got our Yumus. Now, what I would like to say about the itemization for Varus, outside of boots, is if you're playing against a hook support, say you're playing against Fresh, Blitzcrank, and you're not very good at dodging hooks, you don't need to go Umbral first. You are more than welcome to go Edge of Night. Now, unfortunately, the build path for Edge of Night is a bit awkward because it's not just a bunch of longswords, but it has a Ruby Crystal, 50 gold more expensive than a longsword, and it has a pickaxe. So pickaxes can be a little bit awkward to buy sometimes if you had an early game where you're constantly fighting, you know, you're not really farming, you're not getting the recalls off with like more than 750 gold. You're thinking, oh, what am I going to do? I've already got my dirt. Don't worry. I have those games all the time. Save up for the Edge of Night, just play back a little bit, farm with your Q, and then once you get it, then you can make more aggressive plays, you can move forward without being scared of the Blitzcrank who's going to hook you, so long as you don't let him get into melee range. You know, that's a whole different story. But the most important thing that I think you can learn from this video and this gameplay is League is very much situation based, and no general guide will teach you all that you need to know. And that's kind of what I have always believed in. You cannot learn everything from a guide, you only learn it from your game sense. Your game sense only improves as you play. That's why I believe coaching is very good, because the coach that is with you gets to tell you sit down. Oh shit. Did I get her? I am actually a beast. And now I'm 8-3-2. This is why this build is so good. It's good against Rengar too. But anyway. So what was I talking about? I can't remember what I was talking about. That's actually a little bit frustrating. Yeah, so I actually cannot remember what I was talking about whatsoever. That's really bad. You know what, guys? Let's just... I just did an insane play. Oh, we were talking about coaching. That's it. Yeah, coaching is seriously important because every game is different. Even if we get the same champions in the same game, we are not going to have the same players that play in the same playstyles, the same builds. They're not going to be... like, if you get the same 10 players in this game, you might have it so that the Bard roams a lot more compared to my Bard. And so it completely changes the state of the game. Maybe mid tower goes down instead of top tower. Maybe mid ends up being 8-2. You never know. It is completely situation based, and you need to adapt based on the situations. The most important thing that you can learn is how to be proactive, and you learn how to be proactive through playing more games. But you need to be actively looking out for things. So right now, I know we haven't got an amazing amount of vision, but we've got a sufficient amount so that I can maybe track where the enemy team is going. Now, unfortunately, I'm going to have to head back to tower and dead here. So, I was in a bad position trying to help Gnar, but that's not exactly Gnar's fault. I mean, okay, his positioning wasn't great, but Dragon was up. I should have probably come around here or waited for my team. It's probably best that the Gnar dies and I'm alive for this team fight. However, I think that Katarina will nicely clean up. And, you know, it's not too bad. She actually could potentially... No, maybe she won't get a pentakill. But the whole purpose is... Yeah, she won't get a penta. But the whole purpose of what I'm saying is we've got to look at the game state. Now, I'd really like to not throw. This guy needs to shush. I'd really like to not throw. But it's possible we could. And so that's why I need to focus. I swear she already used her ulti. But yeah, you know, it's something that you have to pay attention to the game and understand what's going on, you know, what's happening around you. I'm gonna guess that she's in here. No, she's not. Well, I'm glad I didn't blindly ult that guy. Oh no, she is there. Can I get her? I could potentially one-shot her, I'm fed enough. Not worth it, my bad. I really thought I could kill her without needing the last auto attack, but I got greedy. So what I'm going to do here, I am going to personally... I think that Swiftness boots, I used to hate building them. I think they are the best boots option to buy. The only reason why I'm building Ione in this game, the only reason is I want a lower flash cooldown and a lower exhaust cooldown. Even if it's by 10 seconds, it can make a difference because I'm playing against double assassins and a fed Pantheon. I mean, triple assassin, really. And it's... I kind of want to make sure that I'm alive for these fights. Now, I greeded and I kind of threw. I've died twice recklessly, and this is what I need to focus on. I die sometimes for like no really good reason. I greeded for the Caitlyn. Was it worth it? No, because I used my flash and I also gave Rengar another kill. On the bright side, look on it on the bright side, he has a bounty now, so if we kill him, we get an extra 150 shutdown gold, making it 450. Oh, it's gone. Never mind, I looked in the wrong place. So, the most important thing with this build is you want to poke. You are the attack damage version of Xerath. You fulfill a similar role, except he scales very well into the late game. You start to fall off, however, you come online much earlier. And... Can I not hit her? I did not hit her, I think. So I managed to get a shutdown there. And I managed to also get an ulti. As well as a nice Q. And another nice Q. And unfortunately not another one. But the whole point is I managed to deal a lot of damage from a very safe range. And this is what Varus is very good at. Is he has an ultimate that keeps him relevant throughout the whole game. Yes, his damage can fall off if you're against tanks, but the thing is we are against a very squishy team composition, so we are relevant. That's nice. 2-5-2. We are relevant pretty much throughout most of the game, because this game will not go beyond 30 minutes, most likely. You know, a Baron will be taken, a Dragon will be taken, and then the game, you know, it will wrap up. There's quite a few towers down. Mid-inhib for the enemy team is almost exposed. We could easily win a team fight with all three lanes pushed and then just could kind of close the game out, or get a very big lead where we, you know, are close to guaranteed to win the next fight. It is doable, and it depends purely on what's happening here. Now, Nara's flash was a bit, you know, there's a lot to be desired there, but he had the spirit, you know. Unfortunately, Katarina is dead, and I am not there, but Sarah hits the Rengar with the Q, misses a W, misses a stun, but gets another Q down. 4-4 and 11. Unfortunately, he's a little bit toxic, so we won't give him too big of congratulations. But Jarvan goes in, gets the LeBlanc, and now this is a nice thing, as I'm coming in to miss my oh dear. I'm coming in to miss my my Q, because I'm just that good. You know, that's how good a player I am. That's how experienced I am with this champion. Oh, I hit her. And she's dead. Just like that. Corrupting Potion killed her. And I'm going to take this tower. I'm going to run towards Katarina. And actually, I'm fine. I'm completely safe there. I'm completely fine. I am not completely fine. I overstayed. But we got mid tower. Unfortunately, I am now dead for 40 seconds. But this is what I mean about game knowledge, and this is what I think a lot of players struggle with. This is what I struggle with. I'm much better in the late game when I played a late game champion and I've had an early game where I can farm and whatnot. I'm not very good at constant fighting, but because of how the game's changed, I'm definitely somebody who now struggles with macro because there are too many fights going on compared to when I started playing in Season 4, and I recognise that weakness. What this build, and I think a lot of people think it's weak because this build, it forces you to take early fights, it forces you to snowball, it forces you to close out games early. And if you can do that, you will have an insane win rate, because this build is oppressive, but you have to keep tempo, and that's what's important, is that you are, if you've never jungled before, you might not understand tempo in the same way as a jungle main would, but this is a very high tempo build in that you have to make sure that you are constantly oppressing the enemy team. You are constantly giving them little room to breathe. You're taking their towers, you're taking their camps, you're roaming around the map, and you're being a nuisance. You're poking them down. You're not giving them any chance. I missed my Q because I'm bad, but it's okay. In the end, we just take the dragon. Maybe. We don't take the dragon. Maybe we do. Let's see. Maybe we do get the dragon. And there's a Rengar. Maybe he's going to stay in the red brush. So what we're going to do is we're going to pop a ward here. He's up there. I think we're going to look for a pick here. Oh, I actually did hit him. Which is the interesting thing, is I actually did hit him. Unfortunately, not enough damage, but we cancelled his recall. Now, this build definitely peaks at 2 to 3 items. It does continue to get stronger as you get, obviously, more items, but it's not like a Cogmore where every item's a huge power spike until you get to 6 items where you just 1v9. Let's see here. So I think we're going to go Edge of Night. Now, Sanguine Blade is a very interesting item, and it is a build I've tested. I've actually gone mana immune to not run out of mana in long fights with Sanguine Blade. And I've played the Comet build, but it actually gives you a little bit of on-hit damage because the attack speed with Sanguine, it's surprisingly, it's not great, it's not bad. It does work against certain comps, but if you wanted to play a playstyle like that, then I think Lethal Tempo would just work anyway. But the reason why I wanted to try it is I wanted to see, can you still build Lethality and be effective, but still have stronger auto attacks, have enough attack speed to back it up, and yeah, you can, but if you really want to play that sort of play style, then you're probably going to end up neglecting your piercing arrows, trying to look for the snipes, playing like a Xerath, and that is why I'd recommend that in that case you would play Lethal Tempo. This is a very risky Baron call. And I missed everything. There we go. So at least we salvaged, I'd like to think, something. Gnar should have definitely knocked them into the wall upwards. They were closer to that. We had a bad fight, but whether we win this or lose this, I think that I've demonstrated that this build isn't bad. It's just, if you're not playing it perfectly, it can struggle, but you can see how oppressive it was in the laning phase. My problem was I didn't transition correctly in the mid-game in order to close out the game. I had about 7 kills, I think I was 7 and 3. And to do that as an ADC in 2020 is impressive, to say the least. Because this role, it's squishy, and it's the role that everybody focuses, that everybody targets. So, it's definitely something that, it does work and it is effective. I do think that the Q nerf hurt his damage output a little bit. Do I think it was a bad build though? Because of the nerf? No. I do not think that the build has changed in a massive way. I think it functions exactly the same. His primary goal is to poke, to siege, to take towers, and that is exactly what we're going to do because they have an open inhib. Yes, they have Baron, but one good team fight. We've won team fights before. We were in a bad position. We're not hopefully going to be in a bad position now. We can win this. And if we lose gracefully. If we win, then I will shout about how I gained LP over my opponents and gloat to them because I am just equally as toxic as every league player. I'm not going to do that, I'm kidding, but I should do that. Now, I don't like LeBlanc. Go away. Never mind, she's dead. Well played. I shouldn't have told her to go away, I should have just told her to pin to me, and maybe she would have done that earlier. But the whole point is, I think that Xerath and Varus is actually one of the most obnoxious support synergies of any bot laners. Oh my goodness. He dead. I'm dead. I'm very dead. Come on, Nah. You can kill him. And like that, the power of Varus. We flash away from the Rengar, we flash into the enemy team by accident, we still pick up a kill, we win the fight. All thanks to the power of Lethality Varus. This build is good. I'd like to say I'm not smurfing, I am playing in a high platinum to low diamond ranked game where my rank at the moment on my main account is diamond 4. I'm playing on my main account. This account is named Sejwoonapiggle. Why would I have another account called Sejwoonapiggle? It wouldn't make any sense. So you're more than welcome to check the op.gg. This is a real game. If you're thinking about how, oh, Lethality Varus isn't that good. You know, if I'm able to get 14 kills, granted I have 9 deaths, but if I'm able to have 14 kills based on how badly I've been playing, I'm sure you can pilot this champion far better than I am. I do not have that many Varus games, probably 100 over the last 4.5 years, right? It's not that many. Maybe a little more than 100, 150, but still the whole point is that, you know, if you've played a couple more 100 games than me, you will absolutely be able to transition onto this playstyle. If you've never played Varus before, I'm sure you can pick him up in 10 games. And just like that, you know, it's not hard. In fact, a close to full build Rengar with Mercury Treads cannot burst me, even though I've got absolutely no armor, because I just exhaust him and ult him. I'd like to point out, don't take heal on ADC, it sucks. Don't take heal, exhaust is meta, because if I had heal there, I was dead. Yes, exhaust is a higher skill ceiling. It's absolutely a higher skill ceiling. But if you use it effectively, if Rengar, say Rengar, you know, he did close to 2,000 damage to me there. 40% of 2,000 damage is 800. Now, if I mitigate 800 of his damage, oh dear. If I mitigate 800 of his damage from his 2,000 damage burst combo, he's only dealing 1,200 damage. Now, if he deals 2,000 damage anyway, and I think I've done math wrong there. 40% of... Yeah, it is 800 damage. Sorry, yeah. If you just have a heal, and you heal for 315 health, I die there. Because my effective health is 2,400 with heal, plus a bit of movement speed, rather than 2,100... You know, close to 3k, right? It's, that math again off. I'm trying to like focus on the game. But you know, this is a very back and forward game. I think this is reflective of a regular solo queue game. Katarina, what are you doing? Oh my goodness. I don't know. But yeah, I think this is very reflective of a regular solo queue game, and I think this perfectly showcases the power of this champion, and you know, just how good he really is in a solo queue environment, because teams are unorganized. They are not grouping or, you know, helping their teammates well. They're not providing vision. And even if they are doing that, if they're providing vision, hey, you have Umbral Glaive. You know, I really think that Umbral Glaive is an item that needs to be abused. If you want to climb, if you are playing ADC, if you're playing Varus and you're not abusing Umbral Glaive right now, you're doing something wrong. So, we are going to get Sanguine Blade now. We are at full build, 34 minutes, with abysmal farm, 175 CS. I can guarantee you that that's like definitely below 7 CS a minute. What is that, 5? Yeah. 5 CS a minute. It's bad. I'm a diamond ADC and I've got 5 CS a minute. You can do better. You can absolutely do better. There's a trap there. Anyway, the whole point is, we are at a point now where the game could turn. Yes, I'm starting to fall off, but I'm still effective because I am playing this champion where I'm maximising the strengths. I had flash there and I misplayed, but the whole point is I killed Rengar. I didn't die for no reason. Well, I had flash, I could have easily survived. But we got the Caitlyn, we got the Rengar. 3 for 2 isn't exactly great, but it means that the game isn't over yet. And, you know, we could potentially trade even more kills here. LeBlanc is low. And just like that, we now trade 4 for 4. Potentially 4 for 5. We'll see which way. I think that Gnar definitely can get the kill here onto the Bard. Maybe not. But you know, it's you've got to keep this positive attitude. And you know what's most important about League? Have fun. It's a video game. We're in this horrible pandemic right now, and we are seeing riots across multiple countries. We're not even restricting these riots to the US now. It's happening in my country, in the UK. You know, we're having horrible news day after day of all these atrocities that are happening, injustice and whatnot. If you're going to play a video game and you just want to relax, don't contribute to the problem of toxicity in this world. Just play, enjoy the game and whatnot. Have fun. This game, the chat is going off constantly. These people won't shut up. I'm still enjoying the game because why? I'm a content creator. I love making content for you guys. I want to be able to encourage and be positive and whatnot. And I'm not going to let these idiots make anything worse than me. I'm not going to let them bring my mood down. I'm just going to say, well, you know what? I'm going to... my bad. I'm just going to be somebody who kind of ignores them and moves on. I'm not going to contribute to that problem because I want to be better. I want to be able to improve somebody's day and rather than ruin somebody's day. And that's why I make these videos. So if you do appreciate me, make sure you like, subscribe and share this video with others. I hope that this analysis has helped. Now, I don't think we get to end here, but Rengar is in the base. Do we really not get to end? Really? It's just a Rengar. Alright, so I apologise for focusing so much to the point where I'm not really talking. But, you know, drastic times, drastic measures. Oh, shit. Okay. I think we lost. Well, hey, even if we've lost, I hope that this video has been informative on how to play Varus. Maybe not to victory, but well enough that, you know, you could pick up some tips here and, you know, really learn how to play this champion a little bit better. And maybe you'll win even when I don't. So, you know, if there's something you can take away from here, the best way to play Varus, keep a positive mental state as well. You know, you can be the best Varus player in the world, but if you tilt, then, I don't know. But yeah, it's been a pleasure to be able to play this champion and play with these people. Oh dear. Well, we're respawning. It's not over yet. I mean, this would be the comeback of the century, wouldn't it? If we managed to win this game. So, you never know. But, yeah, absolutely, guys. I'd say one of the most important things to me is being able to educate people. I might be wrong on some things, and, you know, I can guarantee that a master player might see the advice I give and think, wow, this guy is an idiot. Or why didn't he build Lord Dominic's Regard? Or also a reminder, why did he go Sanguine Blade? He's trolling, and maybe they're correct, but the whole point is, at least I'm giving somebody a better idea of how to play the game, even if it's not correct, even if it's not optimal, it's still at a point where it's better than what most people are doing, because I see some players who play Varus, and they absolutely suck on him, and then they claim he's weak, after the fact that he had, like, the highest ban rate of any ADC in the game for 2-3 patches in a row. So, yeah. That's a shame. Well, we may lose this. It does happen. Losses happen. Oh my goodness. Well, he died. And guys, losses do happen, but I think I demonstrated. 16 and 13, I played it pretty badly, but they win, they played it better, they deserve the win. And with that, I'd like to say thank you so much for watching. Make sure, if you learned something, to comment down below. If you'd like to see any other type of content like this, any sort of educational thing, let me know. And I'll see you in the next video. like, subscribe, come by to my Twitch stream, twitch.tv/Sejwoonapiggle. I'll see you in the next video.
It's all over.